Hi everyone, this is Sabrar. Welcome to webinar on art of public speaking. So first of all, I would like to thank Francis Xavier Engineering College for giving this immense opportunity. I'm really thankful for this opportunity, and also I would like to thanks all the department heads for this for this opportunity. I'm really looking forward to have a wonderful sessions with all of you. So basically, I wanted to give introduction about myself. My name is Sabrar and I work for Flextronics, shortly known as Flex. Flex happens to be my second company. I have totally 13-year experience. I am lead auditor for various standard. My strong zone in quality management system and carpet quality. My expertise lies on the quality standards, various standards like ISO 9001, 2015, and automotive standard and medical standard and so on. And also I'm strong in data analysis. I have completed my black belt in Lean Six Sigma. I'm a global trainer as well. So my hobbies includes I'm a big cat lover and I do read a lot of books and I'm very keen on presentations. So basically, I wanted to get started this training. So approach to training. This is one common questions. One might ask about the presentation. How we wanted to have the presentation. You can see a picture A. Picture A is a trainer training the class and all the people performing their own tasks. The picture B denotes like everybody get together, brings the idea, discuss among each other, have a perfect team building, and that is a great success. So I strongly believe in B model, which facilitate more benefit to us in terms of leveraging the knowledge, learning from others, and all that. So this is the model I would like to follow in this presentation also as well. So coming to ground rule, this is a basic ground rule. If you have a mobile phone, kindly put it up in the silent mode. If you wanted to have a discussions and other meetings, you can just bring it up. And if you have anything serious, important meetings to be attended, you can please feel free to step out and or go on mute, and then you can just do take the calls. But if you have any questions or any additional clarification if you wanted to make, please feel free to ask. I am very happy to help you out with those. So this is the agenda which we will be going through. Basically, it has got three parts. Part one includes art of public speaking. What is art of public speaking? We will mull over more details about it. The secondly, we can talk about where to use art of public speaking and what are the benefit byproduct we will get it and what are the guidelines. So part two also an extension to guidelines where you will have various things you need to take care like posture, gesture, grammar, and so on, which we will be discussing and delving more about it. Part 3, very interesting segment where I have picked up a book called Art of Public Speaking by Stephen Lucas. He is a wonderful author and he has published various books. One of his well-known book is Art of Public Speaking, where he has a subscriber of more than 1 million user because the kind of detail he covers up really interesting. Let's mull over that also more in that one. And then the conclusion includes like what the book summary talks about and all that, and additionally what I have learned during this professional experience I would like to share with all of you. So let's begin. So the art of public speaking. So it's generally a, when you say art of public speaking is a speaking to a group of people in a very structured manner, deliberate manner, and intended to inform or influence or entertain the audience. Typically, you might do it for three things: one, to inform or influence or entertain the listener. The purpose of public speaking can be range from this simply transmitting the information, or to motivate, or to act, or simply tell a story. So where can I use the public speaking? This is quite anonymous and straightforward. We can use it in the seminar, in school, or colleges, or chief guest speech, or presentation widely be used in the office and Thanksgiving or any motivation speak. And whether it's a politician vote campaign, everything we can use public speaking. And what is benefit of public speaking? When you are a public speaker, one thing is, it improves the self confidence, and also you will be more comfortable around other people. You will get gel with other people, and you will have effective way of sending your message across to the people, and it makes a huge difference in your life, business, career, and community. It also demonstrate your knowledge, what knowledge you have, how you demonstrate your knowledge and all that. And it creates a own supporter, and we can fine tune your verbal non-verbal communication skills. As we it is also, public speaking is an art actually. As we go along, you will have a different experience. You can definitely learn and improve, and this is something like continuous journey. That means every as we go along, you will keep learning and have a improve upon. Possessive is the one which, when you try to convince a group of people, then you can use the possessive one. Like you have an idea, you wanted to convey your idea, you wanted to get endorsed with other people, then possessive skills, it can be used. In both, actually, it's more or less same. Where you have informative ideas, that means you strongly believe in it, and then you have facts and figures. You have a data point, and you're just selling your ideas. This is something you're trying to, you have an idea, you wanted to get indoors, get supported from others, then you can use the persuasive skills as well. Entertaining is very straightforward, where you can crack jokes, and you can tell the stories. You can just entertain the audience. So basically it's called entertaining, as the word goes. So what are the barriers of effective public speaking? This is something, most of the people, they say the public speaking is very difficult because of the following one. And in this video also will be discussing about how these are all the barriers, how we can overcome. One is a stage fear. Stage fear is the main one of the main reasons. A stage fear, and you have a lack of knowledge about the audience, and you have a lack of knowledge about the topic to deliver. Stage fear meaning like, this also requires a practice. When you just present yourself in front of the mirror, or in front of a small group, thereby you can gain the small momentum, and then you can go and present in front of a stage. And lack of knowledge about audience is something you also need to be very careful about it, because the same plug and play model may not work. For example, if I have this PPT, depending upon the audience, I have to slice and dice the PPT. I have to modify the PPT. I cannot use the same content everywhere, right? So lack of knowledge about audience. And I have also have a story about this. I'm gonna tell it, and as we go along. A lack of knowledge about topic, that is also very important. What topic, who is the audience, that you need to keep in mind. And improper dress code, improper time management, and vocal behavior. So the art of public speaking part 2. So here I would like to share few guidelines. The guidelines, one, to have a effective public speaking, the first and foremost thing is know your audience. What do you mean by knowing your audience? Meaning like, if you know your audience, I will quote an example of Coca-Cola. When Coca-Cola was, it was really going well, and they wanted to expand the business, leverage the business, and they wanted to do it for Saudi Arabia also as well. In this Saudi Arabia, when this ad was presented, it was a failure. The failure, because actually, like, you might notice that, in English we say, like, the idea about this ad is, when a person is very very ill, or very tired, exhausted, when he drinks the Coca-Cola, he becomes active. But Saudi, because they follow Arabic language, but they read from right to left, so they think that actually the person is very active, and Coca-Cola, and the person becomes very tired and exhausted. So this is what knowing your audience is very very important. So depending upon the audience, the same information. For example, let's say even in the office environment, you have an information. Let's say you wanted to train to the junior. Maybe the same content you might take an hour. The same if you wanted to give a heads up to your manager, the same information you might give it in 10 minutes. The same you wanted to present it to the top management. Again, you have to squeeze in such a way, like, you give a very bulletin. So you may end up in giving only in 2 minutes. So the bottom line is, so know your audience, and then you need to switch over you need to change your paradigm, how you use the vocabulary, how you use the content, everything you need to make it very easy. And you remember the example of Coca-Cola, why it failed? Because this is one of the reasons, they didn't study well, so they had a big lesson learned out of it. So this is the three types which I prescribe in the before slides. One is informative, it can be persuasive or entertaining, but it can also include these type also as well. So when you talk about informative, it says like when a person gives a speech before an audience to impart the information on a particular topic or a particular issue, it's said to be an informative speech. That means it carries some sort of information. But here I would like to share a one small tidbit here. When you are giving any informative speech, make sure that you have a facts and figures in place. What do you mean by facts and figure? Facts meaning like, you can go through the history, you can have a pattern like, what is the history or what is the data point you have, and then anything and everything you can speak from the data, so that your whole presentation will sound very very strong. So the number two is choose a proper topic. Yeah, choosing a proper topic is also very very important. Like when to, let's say you have a great, although you have a great content, but you also need to choose a topic, what topic and which audience it will suit. I will tell you a story about process communication model. This is very interesting one. It says like there are different type of listener. One is called the harmonized one. That means anything they believe strongly on value system. One is called persister. They believe what has been happened in the past and then they try to correlate to it. One is something called the fact base. That means they will go whatever the you have an idea, only they will agree only if you have a data point with them. And if you don't have a data point, you they might not agree with you. So this is the third one. The fourth one is something called, you also have one type where, everything logical thinker. Logical thinker meaning like anything which you wanted to communicate to them, they will connect to the logical point and then try to correlate. If something is matches, then they will agree. So you have a different people, different mix. One is a logical, one is believes on data, one believes on historical one believes on your value systems, and all these different combinations are there. I'll tell you a story. Actually, their mother had two children. Always she likes the elder one, and the younger one was very curious enough, and he went up to elder son and said that why your mother always likes you, not me? Why she doesn't like me? So this person, the elder brother, said that sweetly, uh, you know when I talk to mother, what I do is I mix the right right tone. What I mean by right tone is, my mother likes only the homely related subject. My mother wanted to know about the neighbor, my mother wanted to know about my studies, my mother wanted to know about discuss anything in general topic. So when I sit with her, I just get tuned to those things. That's the reason, one of the reason why she likes me. So this is very important. When you have a proper topic, it also means like, you how you use, depend upon the audience and depend upon the topic, you might need to fine tune so that it can reach to the all the audiences. Do enough research over the topic. What I mean by that is, you collect the facts and figures, you can also refer different books, different, you can also google it and have a write down all the points, and then including jokes and example if you could relate it, so a topic becomes much much easier to follow. And be prepared for all questions possible. Generally what we can do is, we can have a write it down the FAQ, frequent asked questions, or anything which is potentially you think that the audience might come up and ask it. You can just prepare yourself so that when somebody asks the same questions, you might confidently give the answer with a great clarity. And never assumes that actually like no one will notice, but actually everyone notices what you say. But actually like have a good prepared, preparation is the key. As much as you get the data and you have all this data being jotted down, and so that actually any questions which come across, you might able to answer it sweetly. Time it from the beginning till end. Have a clear watch on the time. Let's say your presentation in for an hour. That means you also you should not go too fast enough to cover everything and then end up completing in an hour, in 30 minutes. But that means if you go too fast, people might not get it. And even if you go too slow and you have exceeded the time, and the people might get agitated. So you have to strike the balance, and you need to keep an eye on the time factor. Prepare a note. This is nothing wrong in holding a piece of paper while you present. It is always good to have a personal note. When you have a personal note, what happens actually, like your mind tries to draw, because when you write, you can. This is also a story about it. This is mentioned in the book called Eat That Frog. Very nice book, very small, thin, but it's a very nice book. It says that when you write, you can act only one task at a time. For example, let's say when you're driving a motorbike, and probably you have a friend along with you, and you both discuss each other, but still your friend might able to answer your your conversations, everything. When you're writing it, your mind is fully focused upon, and you can do only one act at a time. So when you do one act, that means your mind is super focused, and what you write, everything, that means anything, when you write it, your mind tries to draw a picture in your mind, and then you will never forget the topic. So always, writing habit is very, very effective, and it is proven to be very effective. Please make sure that if you are a starter, and have a note onto it, or if you are taking anything, like when somebody is giving a point, giving a lecture, giving a presentation, always writing habit is really, really good and very effective. And the lastly, on the guidelines part, on the practice, meaning like you can do a more rehearsal, you can stand in front of the camera and present yourself, or you can take a mobile and do record your own voice, so that you will get a clarity that where how your phonetics are, how your grammars are, how you're where you're stressing too much, where you're stressing less. All these permutation you will get it. And the other side is choose a proper day. That is also very important. If you happen to give a very you wanted to give only the small topic, then the casual is fine. If you depend upon the audience again, you might need to change the dressing code also as well. Audio visual visual ads, this is something like important, like what to use, how to choose. For example, if you're attending a presentation, you have to give a presentation to a mass audience. What generally we can do is we can just go at least 2 hours before, get used to the surroundings, and so that you will also check how the mic works, how where the pointer works, because the technologies are keep emerging. You have a many devices. So in such cases, actually, you need to get used to this. Otherwise, that will act as a stress to your mind. Deliver with the confidence, this is the important element. So anything like, do not think about the consequences. What will people will talk about me, what if I get stuck in the middle of the presentation, what people will talk about my accent, what people will talk about my grammar, what people will understand about my message, what I'm going to communicate. Do not be worried, do not be carried out with those thoughts. Always be free and concentrate on your message, not the medium, not the language what you're going to use it. Always focus your attention away from your own anxieties, and focus upon your message and your audience. Give enough time for questions. For example, if let's say you have completed this presentation, and always give that the time for the audience to come up with the questions. Allocate some time for them, so that if they have anything, they can have a come and ask a question. And do not be too defensive while you face any questions. If you do not know the answer, that's absolutely fine. You can say that I will read it, I'll get back to you, and they can give a very honest answer as such. This is you might be wonder, words do not count, meaning like 70 percentage of your communication does not depend on what you speak, but how you speak. Meaning like your how you speak, your posture, your appearance, your head movement, and your how you move around in the stage, how your facial expressions, how your body language, how your closeness, how you sound, everything does a count. So please remember, so do not focus more on the words, rather you focus on the posture, gesture, so that your presentation will look good and effective. Pass and stress. Sometimes it also happen to see that actually few people when this in the top speed they think that it's a good and it's huge huge accomplishment. Actually it is not anytime when you give a presentation keep have a clear pass and stress whatever the important point you can stress, and whatever the things you can also go to the moderate speed so that anyone can follow your presentation. Posture. Coming to posture, when you have a posture, actually have a good posture. What I mean by that is straight upright, meaning like you can have a well balanced one. If you're keeping like very tired looking or tired, if you're having this one, you're also giving a signal to the audience that actually you are not well prepared or you're not interested. Remember that you are the center of attraction. The first thing is what you say is not important, how you deliver it, that makes the huge things. And appearance, be clean, be smart. This is something you already know. I'm just skipping this one. Have a maintain the proper eye contact even when you're delivering the message. Have a proper eye contact. This also it says like few people will stare only at one person. That means they have some kind of nervous in their mind. So just have a slowly walk around the stage and make sure that your audio is very clear, and maintain the proper eye contact, because when you have a proper eye contact, one big benefit is you can grip the audience, meaning like when you are not keeping an eye contact, you are just staring at the slide. That means if the people will after few seconds, after few 2 minutes, they might lose the attention and they might start at minding their own business. So have a proper eye contact. This is extremely important. Even when somebody asks the question, have a good eye contact. Don't try to think that what answer you're going to give. First you just have a good eye contact, understand the questions, and then you can give an answer. So, and also body contact, like when you are having handshake, have a good form handshake. It also conveys that actually how confident you are, and thanks the audience. So this is also like whatever the presentation you do, at the end prepare and practice well how you will conclude, and at the end do not forget to say thank you. In part 3 I have picked up a reference from the book called Art of Public Speaking by Stephen Lucas. He is a very very interesting author, and it's a 10th edition. It has more profound details about art of public speaking. Let's mull over. So actually, I have picked up only the print shots of the title alone, but I will try to give the gist of everything. The first chapter is speaking in public. The power of speaking in public is, we already saw that when you wanted to communicate, when you wanted to sell your ideas, or when you wanted to give informative speak, you can have the public speaking. And the power of public speaking is you can really take control. You can build the big networks and all that. So the speech of communication process, like the you can also have a speaker, meaning like you can what how you speak, that is very very important. And what message, depending upon the audience, you need to switch over the messages. And you can just think that whether the people are listening. And you can remember the story of the mother and two children, how elder son tries to have the conversation what mother likes, like this depend upon the audience. You might need to change your content and the entire presentations. And always allow yourself to receive a feedback. You can just at the end you can just open up a question answer, and where you can just honestly prepare for the questions, possible questions. And then if you know the answers you can answer it. If not, no issues, you can just get back to them after researching and get back to them. So cultural diversity is also very important, like what is acceptable in one. This detail is there in page number 22. What is acceptable there in one country may not be acceptable in another country. For example, if say in India, if you're nodding the head from up, I mean top to bottom, that means you're accepting something. The same thing if you put this in the equation of Europe, they may not like it. So the culture diversity is very very vast and wide. You have to extremely take care like that factor also as well. Ethics and public speaking. Ethics meaning like, what you speak. For example, you have a diverse group where males and females are there. You have to be extremely careful, like something what you utter about the women should not pull down the women. And the same goes for the men also as well. So you have to strike the balance, and you have to be very honest in what you say, and be fully prepared on each presentation. Listening is, is very important actually. Like the one way of listening is, whether the audience are listening or not, how you can do, you can just have a good eye contact, slightly move around the stage so that you can get to see the entire audience. And then you can just ask in between, ask questions, very simple questions. Hope you are following it. And you ask something, small questions, so that people will understand that this speaker will point any questions to me. I have to be very alert. So ask simple questions so that you can engage the audience, you can ensure that your audience are paying attention to your presentation. Selecting a topic and purpose, this is very important. As we said, this book also has quoted that same references which I quoted about the coca-cola one, how it failed miserably when the coca-cola ad was being presented to Saudi Arabia, because the way they start from the right to left, and something like that. You also have to be very careful. Selecting a topic and a purpose is extremely important. Analyzing the ideas. So if you happen to see Mr. Obama, why he is very well known speaker, because when he goes to his native, he speaks in his he starts his presentation with his language. And this analyzing the audience, depending on the audience, you might need to switch over the presentation. And please remember, the anything like sexual orientation, religions, you have to be extremely, and gender diversity, these are all the things you have to be extremely careful. And something what you say should not hurt anybody's feelings. Gathering the material, now you have a Wikipedia, you have a Google, so you can any topic, you can just have a go and take the notes. That's the important thing. And collect the notes, and then you can put down everything as a summary, and then go and present yourself in front of the camera, in front of your friends, and ask your friends, like, I'm going to present this one, can you please have a attend it, and give me a feedback. And then you can just prepare like that, and then come and present it. So gathering the material and information is important. So this book also has a little bit detail about 130 to 133, before the interview, during the interview, after the interview. Like, you can just have a self assessment, like, how you will start, how you will done it. And you can also seek the your friend opinion about how you deliver it. And then you can do any number of time the practice. The more number of time practice you do, the better presentation it will become. So supporting ideas. Some people you might have seen, like, if you have four ideas, they will just count the finger. One, idea number two, and idea number three. That also gives very important. That means the people will remember that these four things you're gonna say with an example, with the extended example. Sometime if you have an hypothetical example, like, these are that. Use examples and stories, and more importantly, use the data, use a statistic. So when you have this one, so use that, it will, your presentation will become so pivotal. Organizing the body language is also one part that deals in chapter number 8, like how you organize the main point, and then you can just at the end you can just summarize all the points. Beginning and ending the speech, how you begin, what the objective you had, and then you can conclude what the conclusion points. So delivery, how to deliver it, you can just make sure that you just have a good volume, and have a good pitch, and rate and pass is very important. When you wanted to stress a point, stress that point, and then have a go, and have a good dialogue. The movement, gesture, eye contact, these are all part of delivery. You remember, like, 70 percentage of your presentation on how you present it, only 30 percentage matters on your vocabulary, what you use. So this is the additional references. Actually, this book also has given some additional references. One is, to give a presentation, like, this also has detail in page number 64 all the way to 70. Speaking to information, what it is there, and speaking to persuade, we wanted to convince, and how you need to know the psychology, and when to talk, and when you should, for example, let's say you wanted to give a presentation, very important presentation in the afternoon time. That means you need to bring more activities to it, and rather than your main points. You need to supply your main points later point of time. So like this, you need to know also that factor also as well. When you're using PPT, have a keep an eye on your text and fonts, and if you're using different fonts, audience might lose the attention. Have a good animations, everything. So that concludes what we discussed in this presentation. We learned about what is presentation and where to use a presentation. We can use it in the like in college, in office, and you can use it anything. The benefits of presentations are like we can become a self-centric person. You can become a very confident person. You can have a guidelines like we talked about posture, gesture, what to use and what not to use. We also discuss deeply about art of public speaking by Stephen Lucas. So the conclusion I would like to make: good beginning is half done. That means when you're presenting it, present it very nicely. For example, let's say some people start saying like myself is a blur. So when you say like myself is grammatically incorrect. That means you can either say this is a blur, or you can say my name is a blur. So you need to a good beginning is half done. How to pitch, how to what the first few sentences what you're gonna say is extremely important. So have a good practice and get it reviewed with your friends, with your colleagues, so that you can make sure that you receive a 360-degree feedback, and you can be well prepared. And remember that good beginning is half done. Be well prepared, and practice, practice, and practice. This is something very very important. Practice is the mother of all success, right? So have a good practice right before you speak, and know your audience, change according to the audience. Keep the good eye contact, posture, gesture. Have a good pass and stress. Get used to the environment. This is something I wanted to share it one small information. Before the horse runs for a competition, what the horse owner does is they just bring the horse and get used to the environment, get used to the place. Like this, when you go to the presentation hall, uh, get used to this one, and whatever the gadgets you will be using it, get used to all of these gadgets. So that's it from my side. If you have any questions, you can feel free to comment, and I will be very happy to answer your questions. And with that, so if you wanted to connect, this is my number 814-892-8828, and this is my Facebook ID abrarahmadh@yahoo.co.in, and this is my YouTube channel where I upload all the industrial knowledge and like Six Sigma and storytelling series and so on. So this is also I presented the same thing to IMO also as well, the same topic, art of public speaking. And please, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. I would be very happy to take up your questions and have a deeply discuss about it. Thank you so much. You have a nice day ahead.